And we should be back there with everything going on.
Excellent.
All right. We should now be able to also see, with any luck, if I just do a cheeky refresh of that.
A cheeky
No,
refresh.
they've still not used. They've either not used the clock or
No,
they're
they
using a
have.
different. They have used the clock.
I'm gonna go take a look.
Yeah,
check
if you
that
go
out.
and have a look, because I was gonna say they must have used the clock at least some points.
Tell that Michael kid to get it right.
Oh no, it's probably something to do with the technology. You can't blame a poor workman blames his tools. I'm very good at being a poor workman.
Yeah, I understand. That's if someone gets on me about a sculpt, I just say that the art was bad and I made it look like the bad art.
Is that genuinely how it works?
That's my excuse. It's probably something I did, not anyone else. So
That is well fair.
I don't want to take that beating.
Have you got a favorite sculpt that you've done?
That I've done, yeah, I've got a couple that I like. So I always lean towards my Legion heavy beasts, Azrael and Zuriel as favorites.
Yeah.
But working on some of the new Mark IV stuff, I have some new favorites coming pretty soon.
Okay, fair play. Interesting. I'm gonna be looking forward to seeing what you come out with there. It sounds.
Yeah, we're excited to show it. With Mark IV, we showed the first 3 factions, which were Storm Division, Khador, Orgoth Sea Raiders.
Yep.
And then at some point, the 4th faction will be
X.
Dusk, House Kalis. And so we're getting closer and closer to showing something for that.
Okay.
I've finished off some models that need to be painted, and I've sent them out to the painters. So it's getting closer and closer where people can finally see what those models are going to look like.
Awesome. It is.
Imminent,
Yeah.
Yes.
Imminency is probably one of my favorite things. I like things happening now. Well, it's better than them happening later, isn't it?
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be able to show off the painted battle group in the next I don't know, month or so, 2 months. Soon.
Yeah.
Trademark.
So battle marks.
Soon,
Are,
TM.
battle marks are the best way to be able. Sorry, battle boxes or groups are the best way to be able to get into the game, are they?
Yeah, the
Battle
army
group's a good
boxes
start.
that we've got coming out are
Yeah.
going to be just the best way.
Yeah, the army
Awesome.
boxes.
You'll have your 50 points, maybe
Yes.
a little bit more, right out of the box. You'll have everything you need to play.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Right.
And a really good starting point to if you want to expand your force later. It'll
Yep.
be really easy to do. Buy a couple boxes here or there, and just off you go.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a really good setup, and by summer of next year, everything available for your army will be out.
Yeah.
And then we'll have new stuff for different armies. And
Yeah.
Amazing. That sounds really, really good. And if you are looking to get into Warmachine, keep your eyes peeled. In fact, you might as well pick up some models now and get yourself some painting in because these things are wonderfully detailed and deserve all the attention they can get on them.
Well, and we have a number of like articles and news posts on our website and stuff that explain the basics of which legacy models, meaning models that currently exist, carry forward into the new edition. So you can use that as a guidepost if you do want to get some models now for what will work in the new edition.
right, or even if you haven't played in a few years and you're like, I'm ready to dust my stuff off. What should I dust off?
You can go right to those rules and
Right, you can go to the rules and they can help you out, and you can get painting on the old stuff that you said you were going to paint and didn't.
Yeah, I call it the pile of potential.
We call it the pile
I
of
like
shame.
that.
It's
No,
not.
I like
no,
potential.
there's
though.
no shame.
Potential is good though. That's
There is absolutely no shame in it. You
I'm
know.
gonna have to update my lexicon.
Yeah. Oh no, pile of potential is great because it's untapped potential, whether it's financial or hobby
And it's
potential,
pop.
and it's pop.
I like it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to pick up some bin sayings like cheeky.
Oh, that's a
We
right
don't-
cheeky little move there. Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
say
Mhm.
cheeky, so I'm gonna bring that back to
You guys are spending somewhere in the region of at least 10 hours with me over the next couple of days.
at
so
least it seems like
I reckon, in fact, not include probably about more like 20 hours over the next couple of days.
best
so
20 hours ever.
I was gonna
So-
say you'll be having some of my
We'll leave with a
mannerisms.
Manchester accent.
Yeah, well, I mean, my accent is probably the dirtiest British accent you can get. It's some kind of weird bastardized child of everything. It's basically where like it's not.
I mean, that's essentially what my genetic makeup looks like as well.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
It's just a melting pot of all the things.
But Ben, it's funny because I have this dog that talks to me, and you have the same accent as the dog. It's this English accent, and the dog is always like, and good day to you, sir. So I need to say that so I know how it should actually be said.
No, so now you actually know how it should be said. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I want you to say it so
You're saying
because
good.
the dog says, "Good day to you, sir." But I don't know if he actually has an English accent or if he's just making it up.
Hang on, what level of conviction am I saying this with? Is this like a I'm dismissing you, or is this just like a general hey?
You're a giant drooling mastiff that can speak with an English accent.
I'm probably something along the lines of "Good day to you, sir." Is probably how I would say it.
Perfect.
Nailed it.
But if it was just me, it'd be like, "All right, mate."
No. See, we're sophisticated.
Oh yeah, good day to you, sir. Is probably
day
how
to
I
you,
would say it.
sir.
Yeah. That. Sorry, we derailed off into a weird tangent of accents and
Welcome to Privateer Press.
probably some level of cultural appropriation on my behalf. I'm sorry.
Oh, I think it's on my behalf. I think I'm taking it from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, back to some Warmachine.
So yeah, Kruger leading up this Crucible list, a Scar leading up this Crix list, undead zombies. Undead pirates, zombie
Yeah.
pirates.
You've got some living.
Yep.
But there are definitely some undead in there as well.
Yeah, and Scar is she's been around since the beginning, so she's one of the mainstays with Crix. So she's literally been around I think 25 years now.
Yep. Awesome. Well, in terms of again raw matchup potential, like okay. If you watched game one, what would be the difference between say Wadey's list, which was Crix but with
Karchev too.
yeah, Karchev versus Crix with Scar? Like what's the main fundamental differences between how they play?
So arguably, and again, this is a big arguably.
Yep.
It depends on how you play with them to a certain extent.
Okay.
But, Scar is going to be a much more nimble,
Okay.
right? Whereas Karchev is in fact deceptively fast because he's got a bunch of stuff in his kit that allows him to speed everything up.
Zip around, yeah.
But he's still big boy, right? He's still big armored chunky boy. So Scar is not that. Scar is very much the exact opposite.
Slender, frail, don't touch me.
Not. I
Well,
don't know if I'd say frail.
Except on I mean like Scar on feet turn. I mean that's kind of what she's known for. So she kills a few people off and buffs however many people she kills off. I think it's up to is it 5 or 3? I can't remember now. But she gives the targets +5 strength and armor. So
Wow.
it can be
Right, okay.
offensive or defensive depending on where you really need it.
Yeah.
So she's got that flexibility where literally it's maybe you run up and you feet and you have that +5 armor, so you're survivable, or maybe you're in a position to attack where you get that +5 strength, and you're able to +5 strength in our game is a big jump.
Is it +5 strength or armor or and armor?
It's both actually. It's +5
Wow.
strength and armor.
So you run in, smash like whatever you wanted to smash up, and then can also tank the hit on the way back out.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a valid strategy.
Wow.
Go in, hit as hard as you can, and then you have that beefed up armor and try to survive through that.
But that is your feat, so it's only once a game.
Well, and you're paying with your health to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. I was thinking she sacrificed models to do that, but she's actually she sacrificed some of her health, and for each point she sacrifices, she can add the +5
To one friendly faction
model,
model.
and that's I think it's up to 5.
I was gonna say it'd be a bit interesting if you could just sack off your general infantry to be able to pull out an ability quite as strong as that.
There are abilities like that. I just this wasn't one of them. I was confused with something else.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, it's
So Scar immediately suffers any number of damage points for each damage point suffered as a result of blood magic. One friendly faction model currently in her control range gains +5 strength and armor for 1 round.
Okay.
This model, meaning Scar, cannot spend focus points to reduce the damage. So
Right.
she has to take that damage.
So she can still do as many as she wants to. I was thinking that that was trimmed back to 5, but no, that's great.
No, you could if you wanted to kill yourself, which
Yes.
would not be the way to go.
That's not good.
But sometimes there could be a desperation play where, you are going to sacrifice near all your health, especially if you've got some way to recoup that loss
of course.
right? And you can keep her out of harm's way after that turn.
Is there a world where you can stack that buff on multiple people at once, like on the same person multiple times, or is it
Not from that source.
not from that
Right,
particular source?
but there are other spells or abilities that could be given where
Right.
a model can increase their strength or
Yep.
can increase their melee attack as long as the ability doesn't have the same name.
Yep.
So if we had two models that gave the same
Buff.
they don't stack like that. But if we had one model that was +2 and it was called buff A, and the other one was +2 and it was buff B or +1 or +3 or whatever, those can stack.
Yeah.
As long as
Okay.
they don't have the same name.
Yeah, so different abilities are not separated by what they do, but they're separated by their names. Then
Right, because
Perfect.
you might have a solo in your army that buffs or debuffs.
Yep.
And then you might have a spell from your warcaster that buffs or debuffs.
Yep.
And it could be the same ability being buffed or debuffed, but they do stack.
Yes. Okay. So that's where the differentiation of the names comes in, which is
Yeah, exactly,
really nice.
exactly.
Really nice.
Like with Crix, one of their big things is Dark Shroud. Anything with I think it's anything within 2 inches of the model with Dark Shroud gets -2 to their defense. Is it defense or armor? I think. But if there's a spell that does the same thing,
Yep.
it's it does stack.
Yeah, of course, which is really nice. It's nice to have that flexibility of being able to focus on a tactic and dogpile it all on. And I imagine on the turn that Scar has a feat active, that particularly becomes even more prominent because you'll want to build a list around doing that.
Right. And
Yeah,
that's,
and she has the ability to, if she's one of the models getting in there and getting work done, right?
Yep.
She has the opportunity to recoup some of that health spent through one of her weapons.
Providing
one of
she-
her weapons has Life Drinker on it, for example, and so if she can get in there and finish off an enemy model, she can regain up to 3 hit points. It's a D3. So
Yeah. At least 1, maximum 3, averaging 2 on that. But that's if you wanted a slightly safer play, you could only do it like buff 2 of the models with your feet. But that seems a bit of a waste, to be fair, because you only get to do it
you're
once.
only going to feat once, yeah.
That's what I really like as well. It's almost like they go Super Saiyan for a turn, which is what I really like.
and I just want to double check.
Yes.
Are we streaming okay?
We should be streaming.
I just had someone ask if if we were.
It
having
went to a
issues or
new.
not.
It had to go to a new stream.
Okay.
So if people are still
just
trying
a
to watch the
reset.
old one, they just
Okay.
need to
Yep.
come back to the channel and
Yep.
go to the new one.
Come back to.
But yeah, no, we've got people watching. People are here.
I was gonna say I could definitely see on your screen that's happening from that.
Yep.
And that's all good. So
they're all live.
perfect. Whew. Small heart attack there, Doug. I'm not
Sorry,
gonna
sorry.
lie. Thought I was about to cry myself to sleep
I
tonight.
thought everything looked fine. There were no weird frozen up screens or anything, and so I just got a message from the mainland saying, "Are you guys still down?" And I was like, "Well, what?"
Oh, from the mainland. Oh, oops. Sorry, that's completely my bad.
The
All right.
mainland.
My mainland
Oh, from St. Louis.
in that area,
Okay,
In that rough dart-shaped
from
area.
our country.
gotcha.
See, I call it the motherland, but there's a different land.
Hey, we don't call them.
We don't have parents.
Oh, you're just.
Our country doesn't have parents.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you were test tube babies. Sorry, that's. I thought you both were gonna say you were genetic mutations.
We don't get to call it motherland or fatherland. It's just that place we come from.
That, that bit of green space that's not always green.
Not where I'm at.
Unlike table 2, which is green, and we can see.
Right.
Oh, these segues are nothing short of absolutely amazing. Do you know?
Brilliant.
Let's take a look and see how we're doing on these tables.
Yeah, we've got Martin there at the top on Wales. Wales side coming from the top on all of these matchups, and then the USA is on the bottom again. Once again, the maps and the player choices have, managed to like conglomerate into the same sort of area, which is nice.
No, and Circle into Trolls is kind of always one of my favorite matchups to watch.
Yeah.
Because they both have the potential for a lot of offensive power.
Yep.
Right? Between Madrak and Kruger, right? You've got just a lot of different ways to modulate your threat, so you can move all around the battlefield and kind of do what you want, but you have to be really careful because your opponent can kind of do the same thing, especially because you'll see, like you've got Up on the upper side here on Martin's forces, he's got a lot of wolves, which is what you want with Kruger, right? So you've got your giant fun Rocky boys, and they just wreck stuff. And they're both nice and hardy, right?
Yeah.
Trollbloods nor wolves want to fall down very fast
Yep.
or easy.
Yep.
So you can get into some really fun slugfests, even though there's a lot of really cool spells on both sides as well.
Yeah, okay, fair play. And I was just going to ask about the circles that we see on Martin's side of the table there. The little acrylic discs that sort of match his army, two dead center, almost Olympic ringing it, and then the ones off to the side.
So those are usually either some kind of cloud effect or some kind of aura effect. I'm not sure which one he's popped right now, but
Perfect.
it's probably cloud cover.
Cool.
So that he's got cover on those models, so that you're not going to be hitting them as easy.
Yeah. And then if you look on the table, you can see that you've got little bits of terrain on the neoprene mats there. The cloud off to the top left, the woods in the middle. There's a swamp, I think, down to the bottom right. And all the players' tables have a sheet on there which describes exactly what each thing does.
Yeah, and I believe the one on this table is actually like poison or something like that.
Yeah, which is quite
Toxic
nice.
swamp.
Yeah, which is quite nice. That sort of level of modularity can come in as well.
Well, it also explains why Sean doesn't want any of his units in there.
Yeah, because
right.
I imagine usually you would use it for some level of cover or the ability to I don't know, hunker down in there with some things.
Probably don't want to hunker down in the
Well,
poison.
not in the poison one, but that's what I'm saying is if it was just a normal like crater or something.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Okay.
Depending on, like, again, the scenario and the objectives. Because a number of scenarios you don't really want to hunker down unless you're capturing the objective.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That makes a lot of sense, and is probably what should be expected. And so we see obviously Martin's activated his unit there, moved it up, and is measuring for shots into some of the trolls.
Yeah, and whether or not they're going to hit, and then how much, if any, damage is done.
Yeah, cool. So D6 standard format throughout the entire game.
Yep.
No cheeky D8 or D12 or anything like that here.
None of
Nope,
that.
the only thing that you're going to be doing is basically everything you look at is a base 2 dice in general.
Right, okay.
Right, and then depending on the spell or whether or not you're boosting the damage or the attack roll or something like that, you're finding ways to add extra dice.
So one base equals one dice. Is that what you're saying? Or is it base size?
No, it's boosts.
Oh, boosts. Sorry,
Yeah,
boosts.
so like it, or some very powerful spells will use more than that. But
Yeah.
most things are basically 2 dice.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And then
Yeah.
these absolutely. Oh, sorry, go on.
So what? Yeah, it looks like he has a couple of celestial fulcrums. Those are the giant based models out there, and they come with quite a bit of firepower with
Yeah.
at least 3 shots each. A spray shot, a couple of good range shots, fire shot, lightning shot. So the fulcrums, they're a focal point for his army. It looks like.
Yeah, but they are also 16 power each, or 16
16
points
points,
each
yeah.
by the looks of things.
Well, again, and they're you're getting what you're paying for with those guys, especially because as you can see, he's going to be able to get pretty significant amount of effect out of them.
Yeah, and also when these lists are designed, so like the list shows as a 75-point list.
Yep.
What isn't necessarily seen is that each warjack or warcaster or warlock has points that they use for their beasts or their warjacks.
Yep.
So in a lot of cases, somewhere in the 25, 28 extra point range for beasts and warjacks. So that 75-point game is a lot closer to 100 points than anything in it. So there's a lot of models out there at this point.
Which is why in Mark IV, it's almost clearer.
Right, because that's a little confusing with the warjack points, especially for a new player, because you'll see on the warcaster's card it says they have 28 warjack points. So you're basically required to take at least 28 points in warjacks to cover that cost, to get the benefit out of having those points.
Right.
You can take more than that, So if I took 35 points in Warjacks, 28 of it is covered by my Warcaster, and then the rest have to come out on my 75-point army list.
Right. Whereas with Mark IV, it's just I'm spending points basically.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so it's not each model you buy with points then has an allocation of points. It's just one for one.
Which is
okay.
it's just a lot cleaner. It's easier to wrap your head around.
Yeah, it's just super clear. And also with Mark IV, with the Warjacks being modular, each piece that you add on, so the right arm weapon, the left arm weapon, and the head, whatever the effects have, each of those hard points have a cost associated with it.
Yep.
So I might have a giant hammer that's 4 points, and a smaller axe that's 3 points, and a head that gives me stealth that's 2 points, and I total those up, and that's how you get the cost of your jacks.
I could have a tyrant that on the table that cost me 16 points, and Doug could have a tyrant on his side that cost him 22.
Right, exactly.
If he went crazy with like really expensive options.
Right. And so when you are making a list, if you're playing a 50-point game and your list comes in and you're at 51 points, well, I can swap out. Maybe I swap that giant hammer out for a slightly smaller hammer, or to get myself
smaller hammer.
Right, to get that 50 points.
So instead of killing 400 people at once, it now kills 360 people at once.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
accurate.
Cool.
I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's roughly
That analogy nailed it.
Yeah, I hammered it on the head.
It.
Yeah. You were setting it up. I was just knocking it in. I was just confirming.
I was just getting ready to ask you about that.
Oh, I think we should show. No, I was gonna say no,
Right.
no.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna ask. With 4 having the almost lack of caster points being able to be dished out. Does that mean it's going to seem smaller games in terms of size, or are we going to see bigger point values become a standard, do we think?
No, I think it's going to
If you can
be
answer
a
that.
little bit smaller.
A little bit smaller and a little bit faster.
A whole lot faster, I think.
Oh, a whole lot faster.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean,
So
I'm
instead
always
of
slow.
instead of an hour death clock, we're looking at 45 minutes in this sort of situation.
Could be.
Yeah, okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we're not sure on how that's going to work.
The
Death clock
community
is not
will
something
kind
we
of-
do.
Yeah, it's something that the community will kind of decide what
Right.
keeps
Yeah.
the game the most fun and on target.
I have a lot of questions for you, but I'm not going to ask you them on stream because I don't want you to accidentally give away something you should. Not that you would, because you're both incredibly professional people. But you never know.
So
If I slip you too many shots, it might be. Yeah, that's not.
Actually, I can honestly say that neither Doug or I are easily swayed with libation.
Good. Okay. Well, I'll still save it till afterwards.
Otherwise, we'd have been in trouble like years ago.
Many years ago.
Yeah, like we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially, we've done enough shows together now that if we were going to get in a lot of trouble, well, we wouldn't do that unless we went to Europe or something for a trip, and we never do that.
yeah. Why would you go to Europe for a
Yeah,
trip,
wait.
right?
That's just never going to happen.
Yeah, realistically,
We'll
let's.
never make it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know what also isn't going to happen? Us being able to actually see. Look at the control points on tables 3 and 4. We've seen. I know they're off to the bottom little bits, but
Let's go take a look.
yeah, let's go take a look. We've got a 1-1 coming in on table 3 there, which is Maxwell versus Sylvesto. They again have done nothing short of assault my camera setup. So thanks for that.
Right, they bumped it around a bunch.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's always acceptable for that to happen though, because the players aren't used to necessarily playing with a massive frame over the top of the table.
And as gamers, we're not necessarily known for our coordination. We tend to bump into things or trip over our chairs.
Yeah. Oh, so we've got 0-2 coming in on table 1, a 0-0 on table 2.
Right.
The 2 is in favor of Wales. A 1-1 on table 3. Oh, beg your pardon, sir.
Sorry about that. I tried to get as far away as I could from the mic.
A 2-0 for Wales on table 4.
Oh, nice.
And then table 5 should be 0-0.
Yeah.
Perfect. I can math.
Good job. Good job.
So we've got an early lead across the board, I guess, in certain niche parts. I don't know why the counter's not coming up, but it is what it is on table 3. Table 1, still looking at a 2. So it's 2 points here to Elliot. Again, I don't know why it's not updated. I apologize about that, chat. It should have updated, but it's not. So I'm going to have to go and scream at a computer later on, but that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. And I mean, both of these teams, they were super casual about the matchup for this round.
Didn't the US put it upside down and weren't actually looking at the matchup lists?
Yeah, I think that's what they were doing. They were just being very random about all of it. Both teams had tough first rounds.
Yeah.
So one of these teams is going to get their first victory of the tournament.
I was going to say, I think they both dropped the rounds, didn't they?
did.
Game one.
Yeah.
Does that mean that they're out of contention of the tournament, or is there some kind of weird stars aligning at some point? I guess not with 250 players and 50 teams.
So with 50 teams,
should be 25, 12 after game 2, 6 after game 3, 3 after game 4, and then 1 to 2 after game 5.
The way it should work out is there will be one undefeated team.
Yep.
And that's your...
Which determines whether having 6 rounds or 5 rounds.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. 64 is the ideal point, I think, isn't it? Oh, no, 48 is the ideal point for a 5-round tournament. Anything more than that should go to a 64.
Yeah.
I believe.
Sounds right. I'm trusting your math, Ben, because I've seen how good you are with the tech side of things.
You say that.
We say that and people can hear it because you are.
Right.
Well, yeah, thanks.
Well,
Yeah.
without you, this doesn't happen. I mean, the amount of work you put into it, I know we talked about it on the last stream, but just everything you put into it and everything is, it's beyond what I could do.
Yeah, definitely not unreasonable for everyone to say thanks, Ben.
Right.
It's not a problem. You know what? It's genuinely a pleasure to be able to bring this to your community, and just be able to share what's going on around the world. And for people who couldn't make it for one reason or another, or just people that have never seen the game before as well, it's really nice to be able to share that along with everybody.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
that's everybody watching live, but I'm imagining there's going to be quite a lot of people that go back and watch this sort of thing
Oh, certainly.
to be able to see what's happening as well. Which is nice.
Especially as we get to those later rounds, right? Because then the stakes are higher because people are going for the win, right?
Yeah. Sorry, Kitty is.
You have a delivery inbound. I'm going to lean well out of the way.
I don't know what you're getting, Ben, but somebody is.
Oh, bless her. She asked for a chocolate milk because I like milkshake.
Yeah. And she got you hot chocolate?
Yeah, but that's fine because that's
can't go
great.
wrong.
You can't go wrong with a hot chocolate.
You're in Belgium and you're getting hot chocolate.
Well, we have a
in
nice
Belgium.
cool breeze coming in through the door by us.
Yeah.
Because the room with 15 of us in here gets warm pretty quick. And
Right.
of course, where we're sitting, it just blows right in on us.
I realized I'd sent her off to go and sort me out and never actually offered you guys a drink.
Rude.
You were just singing my praises and now you can slander me into next week.
We take it all back.
That's fair. That is fair. You can take it all back.
Right.
They also provide, with all the hot drinks over here, some nice little like biscuit chocolate things. which are
I
quite
know.
cool.
What is the procedure for that? Do you drop it into your drink? Do you dip it? I don't really know how that
Well,
works.
I just might be a heathen. I just eat it straight out of the packet.
Heathen is like us. We don't even take it out of the pack. We just start eating it.
Whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just unhinge our jaws and just throw it into
Well,
the maw.
What you should have seen is Kitty did get herself a cup of tea last night. She was hankering after one, and after we had dinner, or with our dinner, sorry, we had a cup of tea, and that biscuit never flew off that saucer so quick in anybody's life. It just disappeared. Just like we're seeing Adam be able to push his. Oh, is that Adam? Table 5. Yeah, Adam pushes models up into that center part of the board, and just looks like he's got a smattering all around because he's got that nice little red rim.
Well, it looks like the in the center of the board there, the feature there,
House.
looks like it's a house.
Yeah, it's a house.
It's
So
a house.
Locked
It'll be
line of
impassable
sight.
terrain.
They're not going to be able to move through it, but it allows him to amass his forces back there, and then if an opportune moment comes up, he can swing around. And
I'm sorry, are they like colossals? Those big.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
damn, they're cool.
They're some
yeah,
of
the
the.
Supreme Guardian.
They're one of our cooler models we've ever made.
They're so good. They're so good.
It's the reason I started playing Score.
Oh god.
yeah,
And what's funny is when that sculpt came in, we had it for about a year before we released it.
yep.
And so for a year, I played Scorn without a Supreme Guardian, but I knew it was coming, and that's why I wanted to pick that up. Now Scorn grew on me, and I ended up loving Zal too and the Immortals, but the Supreme Guardian is just such a beautiful model.
That is amazing. It looks so cool. I
It's-
just.
it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
I
is.
was
It's
just
so good.
just having a look at the rest of Adam's Zal list here. Zal has an Agonizer, 2 Cyclops Raiders, and a Cyclops Shaman
Right.
to be able to help with those Guardians.
Well,
Yeah,
and everything about the Supreme Guardian, not just like the model itself, but its rules are just awesome.
Right.
Go on, hit me with it.
So you've got their ranged attack. Their base ranged attack is called the Fires of Rage,
Okay.
which already sounds metal
that sounds
as hell,
amazing.
right?
Yeah.
So it's a 10-inch range, right? You do
Yep.
one shot at a time, right? But it's an AoE 4, so 4-inch AoE,
Yep.
right? So you have the
Oh,
chance
wow.
to just absolutely decimate a group of units.
Yeah, that's why we've got the one on the left pushing its way through, and then the one on the right coming around the flank to swing in.
And it's a magical attack, right?
Yep.
The weapon type counts as magical. So like if you have certain things that would be like not able to be hit unless it's a magical type
Yep.
attack. Like so basically it's gonna ignore a lot of nopes and get that damage through.
It just
So-
completely gets. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
so 2 of them in the army, which is not uncommon, right? If you're gonna
Nope.
take one, you might as well take 2.
Pretty normal.
It's pretty standard because they just get a ton of work done, and then they have these giant stone blades called obsidian blades that are ranged 3, right? So they big sweep, right?
Yep.
A lot of reach, and basically between their strength stat and the power of the weapon, right? You've got 18 damage heading towards someone.
Ouch.
And so they have to have pretty good armor to not just get wrecked.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if you go to boost the damage or any of those kind of things.
Do they get like a cleave effect with that sword then if they hit like multiple small units or MSUs? Or do they just is it just one attack at range 3?
So they have an effect on that weapon called Thresher, right? So it makes one melee attack with the weapon against each model in its line of sight that it's within the
It's-
range of that weapon.
Devastating.
Right. So that's why I was talking about the sweep that it makes
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
And one of the kind of the interesting things, and this is when you start to get into like the really nitty gritty minutia of the rules.
Perfect.
Right.
I'm here for that.
Is
Let's go.
Thresher attacks are simultaneous, so it's not like I hit this guy, then this guy, then this guy, then this guy. It's literally whoosh.
All at once.
All of them are getting hit at once. So certain effects may mitigate damage based on the order it's received. This can circumvent that to a certain extent because it all happens at once, right? So
Oh,
you can have some
amazing.
unique interactions going on based on like if this model takes damage, then it would get shunted to this guy instead. Whereas because it's simultaneous, it all happens at once.
Yeah, of course. That's amazing. I like that. The fact that you can just play around some of the reaction rules or anything like that is super nice. And I mean, it is an expensive model at 16 of your 75 power or points, but it's definitely worth it, I think.
But it's also really good against other things of its size.
Yeah.
And it also has 33 wounds.
Yeah, I mean it's going to take a while for it to go down.
Well, it's going to take 3 shots from itself if it was attacking another one of itself.
Probably.
But that's
If
the
not
great
more.
thing is if you're yeah, and if your opponent has a nice huge base model,
Oh. Thank you. Appreciate that.
getting an update from Table 4, what was that about?
He has just almost deuced himself. That's how bad it smells.
Oh God.
He just dropped his guts, basically.
That's what that was?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's what that was.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
I
sorry.
thought a fuel died in the parking lot.
No, that's an entire ocean worth. I can see that one. Bleeding hell. Anyway,
This quality stream brought to you by Dyson Tux.
hey, I didn't say it was professional. I just told you it was a live stream. You were the guys that turned up.
Yeah,
you know?
no, and we definitely played our part. But yeah, so you just have a number of effects from those the Supreme Guardians.
Yeah.
I get excited every time I see them on the table because
Yeah.
they're just hella cool.
I was trying to hit table 2, but because that's the one with the other big models that we were talking about
Right.
earlier.
Celestial Fulcrum.
Yeah, they are of the same base size as the
Yes.
Guardians over here.
Right. And so the
120
Guardians,
millimeter base.
because they have that like anti-siege thing. They
Yeah.
do an extra die of damage against other huge base models.
Oh.
So you know how I was talking about how like everything is base 2 dice. This adds that extra dice of damage.
Right. Okay. Fair
And then
play.
if there was another effect that would add additional dice, that would stack on top of it. So if you were to boost their attack, or sorry, boosts the damage on
Yep.
their attack,
Yep.
you could end up doing 4 dice worth of damage against those Celestial Fulcrums
Ooh.
or another huge base model, and
That's-
that just makes them nasty.
Yeah, yeah, and I assume the rest of the army maybe lacks in other areas to be able to compensate for that, or are they all just a case of we're
No,
all?
Scorn is literally their modus operandi is inflicting pain, right? That's kind of their thematic,
Nice.
and their magic is based off of blood
Pain.
and pain.
Yeah,
Yeah, mortotheurgy.
I like that. I like that a lot. Great. Now I'm gonna. If I was to turn up to it, do you bring 2 lists to every tournament?
Usually, yeah, that's pretty
Great.
common.
So if I was to bring, say, a Scorn list and a Crix list, Warcaster depending, would
It's almost like you're using regular necromancy and then almost like a living necromancy.
yeah, okay. Would they? Because obviously each list is a rock paper scissors, as we talked about earlier.
Or at least has the opportunity for it, yeah.
Yeah. Does that mean that those lists are they all the same sort of style, or is it a case of they pick up some where the others left off?
Well, usually
Warcaster
one
dependent.
list is going to answer certain types of questions.
Yep.
The other one is going to answer a different set of questions that
Yep.
you're going to be asked by your opponents, right?
Okay.
So if they're both too similar, that means if you have less opponents that you're going to be able to find an advantage
of
against.
course.
Whereas if you diversify between the two, you have more opportunities to generate that advantage.
And having the ability to choose a Warcaster helps decide that whether Crix could be one style or another.
Right. But that Warcaster's locked into that list.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Okay.
It's not like you just say, "Oh, this list is Crix, this list is Circle," and then I get to change my Warcaster.
Yeah,
around,
of
and I
course.
still lock that in.
Right. Okie dokie.
So it would be again to use Circle and Crix. You would be like, "I'm using Kruger 1 and Scar 2."
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fair play. Makes sense. Someone in the chat asking, "Where's table 1?" Well, this is table 1, but it's 5 tables of table 1, if that makes sense, because we are at the Warmachine Team Championships, which means there are 5 players on each team, not just the one.
Right.
And we can have a cheeky look at table 1 here, where we've got Michael with Gorshade 4 against Elliot with Gearheart and the Crucible Guard.
And
It's
you have to ignore the lack of update of the control points. and
yeah, the timer.
The clock on that one. There was a mild technical difficulty, but it is in progress.
Yeah. Well, we've got the point.
We have the team of technicians working on it.
Yeah. Oh, control points popped up. Okay.
Well, a control point has popped up. I think that's just because he's added yet another one onto his score. I think that means Elliot's on 3. And again, another table where they've got a bit overexcited and punched the frame or the camera. Hence why it's a little bit twisted, but we'll fix that ahead of the next game. That's not a problem. So yeah, table 1 here, we've got obviously the Gearheart and Crucible Guard going up against Gorshade 4 and Retribution.
That's another matchup that I'm enjoying watching play out because they also both have a lot of ways to modulate their threat.
Yep.
And what angle they're going to come at you from, and ability to say nope to the stuff that you might get thrown at.
Right, okay. They can control a lot of your opponent's models in terms of abilities and stuff like that.
That and so Marshall Gearhart, the Warcaster that Elliot's using, is probably one of my favorites because he kind of reminds me of like your classic English adventuring gentleman.
Oh yes, yes.
He's very much a kind of like
On guard, sir.
yeah. But it's funny because like the way it is it's almost like all bluster.
Yeah. Okay.
But he's got just an epic set of facial hair.
Oh,
So
is it one of those
he's
mustaches that just?
that you're just like, oh well, he wins on facial hair alone.
Amazing. In true, like, almost British fashion.
Yeah.
It's the fancier the mustache, the more wax it can take, the better it is.
Oh, it's heavily
Yeah.
waxed.
Yeah. Mine just looks like somebody pressed the top of one of those Betty spaghettis and then it wasn't quite enough Play-Doh or plasticine in it.
I mean, look at that man.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he's very,
Marshal General Baldwin Gearhart.
yep.
Oh, that was fancy.
Yeah. What? Oh, are we going to have, like, please tell me all your models have, like, Bluetooth speakers in them that you
Well,
can.
no, but here's the very best part: is he's not by himself. He has a friend.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got basically his caddy, Mr. Clog, right?
Yes.
And so you've got his
Please tell me he's like a blundering.
he's a geriatric,
Oh, right, okay.
doddering, like caddy who's carrying all these weapons, right? Just it's.
I like
And
the
then
cinematic.
I have to show you his special abilities, right?
Bloody well done.
So he's got bloody
Oh,
well
you sound
done,
like my dog.
right? So it's a range 5 special attack.
Yep.
Targets friendly faction warrior model or unit, and if that model or unit is in range,
Yep.
it gains an additional die on each of its first non-spray ranged attacks for that turn.
Okay.
So to hit gets an additional die.
Yep.
Right. So he makes them more accurate. Right. So bloody well done. Right.
Of
You know,
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take it.
And then following that is give them what for.
Oh. Yeah. Give him what for?
Range 5 again.
Yep.
Target friendly faction warrior model.
Yep.
If that model is in range, it gains reciprocate for 1 round. And reciprocate says when a model with reciprocate is missed by an enemy ranged attack, immediately after that's resolved, it gets to make a basic ranged attack back against that attacking model.
Wow.
So, missed me, but now I'm going to shoot back.
Yeah. Okay. That's nice. I like that. And then the last one. Is there last?
The other one that I really like is he's got an action called Breather.
Breather.
Or an effect. Basically, he's got a special gas mask, so he doesn't suffer gas effects.
So he can walk into that poisoned fog that we had on table two.
And that's pretty common with the Crucible Guard because they're all alchemists, right? That's the thematic of that army.
Right.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, how many factions are there? Because I'm probably going to have all of them at some point, knowing me.
That's a loaded question. So I think as of Mark III, we had 13, I believe. And now
We've
as
got
we
Signar, Protector to Menoth, Kador, Krix, Retribution, Convergence, Crucible Guard, Infernals, Trollbloods, Circle Ouroboros, Legion of Everblight, and Scorn.
17.
17, good God. And some of those are limited
Then
release factions.
Add in Grimkin, Mercenaries, and Minions.
That's a lot.
That's 20 then.
Yeah.
And each of those can completely change its playstyle depending on what warcaster you have.
Pretty much.
What caster, sorry, you have in the front. Amazing.
Yeah, the different warcasters change it up. One may be
That'd be 15.
15.
15.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was like, wait, 20 doesn't sound right.
I couldn't remember if you went through your hand like more than 3 times.
well, he's got 7 fingers on one hand.
Oh, now we know his pin code. Thanks for that. Okay, so we've seen the players clocking back and forth between doing saves as well. Is that a thing? Or rolling dice in response to something else?
Yeah, so if there's a reaction,
Yep.
right?
You
So
clock
I was
back.
just mentioning give them what for,
Yep.
right? So if I go to hit,
You're not going to roll on your opponent's time there, are you?
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So you fire at me. I've got that reciprocate effect. You're going to pass it to me to see if I can get my return shot off.
Yeah. Is it a must or a can?
Must.
You must. So no, I don't mean with the clock. Sorry, I mean with the
I'm
response.
sorry.
Like, is that because in some systems, rules sometimes state that you must react, and other times they. I don't know if that's the same in this system,
In
The
this,
rule
in
will
this
say it.
instance, it says it can make one basic
which is a
attack.
choice, right?
Right.
Can is not
It
instructive.
Can, or
It's
it
a
may
yeah.
says you are able to do so should you wish to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you could abstain from doing so, but why you would abstain from doing a free shot?
Well, in that particular instance, yes, but I imagine there are some reactions throughout the game where you might not want to react for whatever
Absolutely,
reason.
because they could have an effect where if it's hit by a range attack, some other triggering effect goes off that you don't want to trigger.
Yeah. Great. I really like the idea of the AOE of the Guardians now.
Yep.
Well, and the Guardians also get, if they collect souls, they can buy more attacks.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, so something dies around them, or with Zal, he can
sorry.
direct souls.
Nip back to table 5 for a minute. Any dice or, I guess those tokens around them.
Yeah. So you see the little green kind of
S's.
squiggly S's.
Yeah.
Those are soul tokens.
Oh my word! So each of those has collected 3 souls so far.
Yeah.
Right.
So much like your focus and fury that can be spent to boost attacks and
Yep.
do things of that nature, these models will have special rules that allow them to use soul tokens to have an effect.
So, where do I go to buy said soul token? No, obviously it's in the game, right? Like, spend 3 soul tokens, do this thing.
We've got, accessory packs that have those tokens in them. There's third-party companies that are licensed to make them. You have lots of options.
Or you can just use, beads or coins or
actual souls you have in a jar.
yeah,
Yeah.
depending on where you're at.
We've been asked to nip down to table 4 for a moment, to watch that for a little bit, to have a cheeky look at what's going on. We can see that there's a solidified. There is. Oh, the player's clearing up.
Yeah, so he went up 5 control points, and so at the end of the turn, if they're up by 5 control points, the game is over.
Oh, Struth! Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
boom,
Yeah.
nailed it on scenario.
So is it first to X amount, or is it first to that gap?
It's first to the gap.
Right. Okay. So if I had 22 and you had 18, the
Yes.
game wouldn't end because there's only a 4 gap.
And you get to.
Not that you'll get that high, but
Right.
So if you're the first player of the turn and you have 5 points and your opponent has 0,
yeah,
and they're the second player in the turn, they still get to complete that turn.
they have a chance to be able to. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
But if you go into a turn and you have 0 points on the top of the turn,
Yep.
and the second player has 4 points, and he gets that 5th point, it's over.
Yeah.
Like that, because
Right.
you don't go to a next turn. You don't. Each player gets the same amount of opportunities.
Yep.
Okay. So I've got 1 point. You've got 6 points currently. I'll go first. Take a point that puts me at 2 to 6, and then if you go 7 to 2,
Right. Once I go up, once I get to the 5th point,
I've then got one.
if we've
turn
had the
to-
same turn.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if you're
Okay.
the first player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That makes sense. Wow. Okay.
And that's also why scoring in most scenarios doesn't start until the
Second turn to give that second chance that
Yeah.
players. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can get 5 points in a game quick.
If you engineer your situation.
Yeah, and it depending on what the objectives are, what the scenario is. You can control a couple of zones and a flag, and now you've got 3 points, and it can happen real fast if a player's not paying attention.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, just look at what's on the clock at the moment. Okay, there's an hour left on the timer, but between the two players, that's 50% of the total time available.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of time.
And you can
left.
see that, while Andrew used, quite a bit more of his time, he did so to really strong effect.
I was going to say, look at the 5-0 there at that
Yeah.
point.
Well, and he did what Scar 1 is really good at, which is he got in and got really aggressive.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Kruger is actually a potentially really good answer for that. Right?
Okay.
Because just plinking models off the table.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
With a lot of really strong attacks as well. But if you maintain that maneuverability and keep yourself out of harm's way, especially with the feet, right?
Yep.
Bumping that armor and that strength, you can really get some work done.
Yeah, I think we saw the feet come in, I think, just
prior,
which helped solidify the conclusion of the game, I guess, pretty much to what happened there.
Pretty much, yeah, because it allowed him to make sure there was nothing going to be in there to contest those points.
Yeah.
Well, let's hop over to one of the active tables and see what's going on.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll nip back over to the right-hand side as we look at it. But table number 3 now on your screens. Grant and Maxwell.
Oh, Silvestro still. Yeah, another Crucible Guard player. So, what's that? Two Crucible Guard in this matchup.
Yep. They're
and another Scorn. So.
A second Scorn as well. But no Guardians in this one, I don't think.
No. So the Guardian list was all too. There's a lot of spirit manipulation. Passing those souls around so that models can benefit from it.
Yeah.
They depending on the model and depending on the soul ability, sometimes they can buy attacks. Sometimes they can they can borrow from Zal and use his souls.
Yep.
Basically, I mean they're using his fury, but souls turn into fury for him. But there's a lot of that manipulation with Zal too. Whereas Makeda's not. She's not the soul manipulating type. So no real place for the Guardians in this particular list.
And they need those souls to be able to.
Yeah, to really make them maximize their potential, to have those souls, and also the theme list. I'm going to assume he was playing Exalted Court, so that those models, if they're allowed to have souls, they start the game with at least one soul on them.
Oh, for
So
Table
normally,
5, yeah.
yeah, normally you have to kill something to get a soul, and with that theme list, everything that has the ability to collect souls starts the game with 1.
Just having a cheeky look now at the different lists. We've got so many. There are 500 art lists here this
Yeah,
weekend in
right.
the team tournament.
That's what I
So-
mean, and that's when we talk about the broadcast. And earlier, when someone asked about how detailed we were going to be on the list on the broadcast, knowing that there's 50 teams, 5 players on a team. Each member of that team has 2 lists. I don't. I may help make the game, but I do not know everything.
And plus subs as well, because there are some like reserve players that have come along
Yeah,
and stuff
absolutely.
like
In fact, last night I can't remember which team I was talking to, and they had already pulled their first reserve, and then they had someone get sick, and so they were working on the second reserve.
that. Yeah, crazy,
to
isn't
keep
it?
things going. Yeah.
Yeah. The Exalted is the theme, yeah, for the
That's
for Maxwell's list.
usually with Zal too. It's Exalted, and that's
Oh, sorry, not Maxwell's list with the Guardians.
right with the Guardians.
Yeah, with Zal, and then Maxwell's theme. Any predictions before I tell you what it is?
I don't remember what Makeda's popular theme is.
Master of War.
Master of War. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to look up and see what Master of War gives them.
Yeah, both of Maxwell's lists are actually Master of War.
That doesn't surprise me. A lot of times I think you get comfortable with a list or a certain play style. And so even though you're bringing 2 different lists, you still have some similarities in how you play.
Yeah.
You know,
And in this list as well, there doesn't seem to be anything massive, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
we've
like
got
costly,
Tyrant
cost.
Rydam, who is 8 points.
Yeah, he's a big solo.
We've got then the biggest things after, obviously, Makeda is, they've got Mulk Cam, who is 17 of the 27
yes.
points for Makeda.
Right, Mullet Karn, maybe?
sorry.
Is that who was talking
Yeah,
about?
Mullet Cam.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, the pixels aren't quite as...
Yeah, totally. They blur together. Mullet Karn is a character Cyclops War Beast, and he has been around for a long time, and he has killed a lot of models in this game. Many times he's been in lists and always been a bane to their opponent.
And that's pretty cool. They've also got Tiberian in there as well.
Right, so it's a character War Beast. They look kind of like multi-armed giant elephants that are angry and want to trample through things and destroy things.
Yeah, which makes sense. And then we've got there is a Titan Gladiator in here apparently
Right.
as well.
And the gladiator is the same species as Tiberius.
Yeah.
Just not quite as characterful.
Okay, fair play. And then the next sort of big things after that are the Praetorian Ferox, which has a leader and 4 grunts in
Right.
it.
So they're actually they're like cats. They're cavalry.
Yeah.
So they're armed soldiers riding giant cats.
Well, basically, well, I was gonna say like on Thundercats.
Pretty much, yes. Yeah. So and they're fast. I mean, obvious it's cavalry, but they're super agile also.
Yeah.
So it's a good unit, and that's one of the things about most of our factions is that you can have that variety. So you looked at the first one with the Guardians on it. It's not a fast list. You know, it's got a lot of armor to it. And then you look at the Makeda list, and the Makeda list is a lot more agile than the Zal 2 list would be.
Nothing but simple. Well, I say simple movement, but nothing but strong movement there coming out.
Yeah,
on that
like
list.
the Supreme Guardians are a little slow. You know, whereas then you have units like the Ferox that are so fast and literally jumping all over the place.
Amazing. We can nip back to table 2 there to see we've got Sean versus Martin. Chunking down those points, we've got Sean with a 3-point lead there over Martin.
Yeah,
Thank
Sean
you,
is
John.
actually he doesn't live far from Privateer Press headquarters.
Oh, a regular then to say hello.
Yeah, he's local. I mean, I only see him. I only see him at conventions that he comes to, but we have a bunch of mutual friends, and they see each other more regularly. And one of the first things he said to me yesterday when he got in was, "Did you convince Aaron to come down to Warfare Weekend?" So a lot
Did
of
you?
those guys, I absolutely did. He's a good friend of mine, and he tries to come to Warfare Weekend every year if he can, and hopefully this year he doesn't listen to me and leave his stuff in the back of my car like I did.
Oh. There's nothing worse than that. I've been in a position where I've lost quite an expensive like Warhammer army before because of
Right.
it. Why you would take that, I don't know. Like,
Right.
why not just take the actual car, hotwire it?
Yes, right.
Why you would only get this stuff out the back? It's like not. The thing is, these things are really valuable, both sentimentally and financially to all of
definitely.
us, right? But it's not common knowledge that sort of value stacks.
Right.
So
Yeah, it has its own value to it like in that case Aaron's army was fully painted, it was customized, it was modified, he'd put a lot into it. So I didn't feel bad on mine. I mean, it sucks, but I didn't feel bad on mine, but I felt bad for his because he had traveled all that way, didn't get any games in. And but this year we're going to do it right. We're going to lock our stuff up properly and we're going to get some games in.
Bring it in with you when you go to do setup.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. Like, we just got there early, and we're going to start setting up early and trying to be helpful.
Yeah.
I have just upped those mics a little bit there for you, David. That should mean that these guys are going to be a bit more talkative, if you like.
A bit more in your face.
Yeah, that you guys shouldn't have to adjust your volumes. It's just. Well, I mean, just clipped the mic into Basilius.
I literally disconnected myself. I was so loud.
I'm going to add a noise gate on as well. So.
Sorry, Ben.
No, we should be fine. We should be absolutely fine. Not a problem. But you should be able to hear these guys a little bit better, and there should be a little bit less background noise coming through. All part of making sure you guys can get the best experience you can from watching 4 now, because, Mr. Devine decided to just end his game early because he, I don't know, wanted to chill out.
Wanted to be good at things.
Yeah, good at the
like
game.
I said, did Blitzscar.
It's true. Like I said, she's been around a long time. She's won a lot of games.
Yeah. Do we think that Sean who is on the bottom side of this map here, has the potential to be able to go up to a 5th point and extend his lead by 4 points against Martin?
So
Bear in mind it's his turn.
Watching. Gonna. There's quite a bit.
Yep.
Trying to get into a position, take out some of what's contested.
Yeah, it looks like. I mean, I can't quite tell, but it looks like he has a lot of troops in there.
Yeah, anything with a sort of snowy base that we're looking at here, I think is being represented by Sean here with all those troll bloods.
Well, and one of the things we were talking about earlier when you were talking about the castle.
Yes, so I mentioned castle. You said it was
call it brick.
Call it brick.
And with troll bloods, that's not uncommon for them to move forward as a brick.
I will be right back.
Yep, we're doing a quick deck check. Ben's gonna go take care of some business on a table that had a clock mishap.
While he does that, we will attempt to continue being entertained.
Right. Without Ben, we're kind of lost.
So bad at this game.
But we're good at Mark IV.
Yeah.
So far.
Anyway, to Adrak, Kruger's. I looked up.
Yeah, I really it's gonna be tough to prevent him from. It looks like did Kruger just pick up that 1 point? Or they
had that.
Okay. So Sean would need to.
Martin had that point.
Okay.
A bit ago.
Right. So as we continue on this, John, what shows do you have left this year?
This year,
right.
Warfare Week.
Just Warfare Weekend.
Yeah.
And then you're off for a little bit. So what?
Until January, and time to go to.
That's not a bad thing.
No.
So you're going to get back and have just enough time to pack up.
Panic pack. A booth for Warfare Week.
That's nice. Sounds fun. I'm glad I don't have to travel on that one.
No, you drive from your house to the
True.
right.
I don't have to pack anything up. I get
And
to
then
sleep in my
then
own bed.
Charles.
Oh, that's right. Charles
Yeah.
Foster the third, my
Yep,
buddy, my
yep.
roommate on the
So
road usually.
It'll be you, me, F3, Travis, Mark.
Okay, so that's the 4 of us are going.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that team.
Yep.
I'll miss the Gen Con crew that we had, but I can handle that. And it's always good to spend time with Travis too. I know I met up with him in Bruges yesterday, and
Well, Travis will be doing mostly the same thing that
which is
basically
oh,
people.
I like the way that sounds.
Yeah.
I have to work, and my job is to play games with people.
Your job is to demo by playing.
That sounds terrible.
Wah.
You
And if you want to go get a couple games, hang out with
right?
John from
Yeah,
obviously that'll be an option.
maybe
as
throw some
well.
Monpok dice around.
Travis's.
Oh,
send,
very nice. Okay. Was sad
but
to miss out on
Travis
Gets.
based
Right.
on him. Literally best case scenario. And then I'll be in the store as normal.
Okay. And
Ideally, while panic packing, I'll see if I can find some way to get to 50 points that winter. I
that'd be good.
Don't know if
I
I've
can
got
say
a lot
I
of
am.
work to do when I get home.
Yeah, that's
A lot. So it's
you need
gonna
like
be
a painting team.
I do.
Right. Charles is a good painter.
Charles is a great painter, but he's already busy.
That's
Not
true.
just
That's
it's
true.
granted it's for his enjoyment as well, but he's
Oh,
designers.
that's right. And bringing the that's a Fiona list.
right that he's
Mark
been
IV
working
list.
on. Yeah, the Italian chart,
Yes.
Yeah.
That he's
Yeah.
bringing to Warfare Weekend to play with.
which is a great example of legacy model. Part of the prime art
Right.
for Mark.
And I'm actually just going to call it right here. Charles and I are going to have a staff throwdown at Warfare Weekend.
Gonna kick your
I wasn't done yet.
Oh.
That might be true. But I was going to build it up a little bit. I was going to mention that he's running some pirate type theme, Fiona being,
very
and,
piratey.
I'm going to bring some Sea Raiders, some Orgos Sea Raiders.
Oh, some naval combat
Yes,
action.
that's exactly right.
Ooh,
And so it's
I like everywhere this is going.
it's going to be fun.
Yeah. And
It's-
if I can actually manage, well, which is funny because that actually makes it a three-way pirate battle if you play against Travis as well. Because I know he was painting Star 3 on his
that's
stream,
right. Yes.
Right,
And
so he's also got the nautical theme going.
Yeah.
And you have the three different flavors of nautical themes.
I like that a lot.
And then you've got me with like Katarina playing the core. If I can actually get
fair.
my things done.
Well, I think you did. You should try to get it done so you can at least get a game or two in.
Right,
with the
but
new
now
stuff.
I'm like, how do I bring a nautical theme? His
True.
Kador is all frozen sea.
That's fair.
It's ice.
And I did see, Travis is playing Scar 3 this weekend,
Yeah.
so I was able
Yeah,
to see.
that's part of the list that
Yeah.
he was
Right.
putting together for. Yeah.
He did a great job on looking
Oh,
close up on the
looks so
painted
good.
model.
It looks
And Travis is a pretty good painter, but I think he
yeah.
kind of outdid himself on this one.
And I was hanging out in one of his streams while he was working. Yeah, just a lot of care was going.
Yeah, he did good. Yeah, he was super proud of it.
I can paint models really quickly. I don't know if I can paint them phenomenally well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but quick is good.
Well, yeah.
Because then you're on the tabletop play.
I was gonna say, if you gave me a model like I painted the standard size. I've painted standard size Warhammer and Legion armies in 24 hours before, like start to finish, which is it's not a small amount of stuff really.
So being said that I need an painters. It sounds like you're right.
And how do you feel about coming to Warfare Weekend with us?
Expenses paid. Let's go.
You can sleep on my couch.
Travel paid. Let's go. I'll sleep on the couch and travel paid. Done.
Get some crowd
Sort
buzzing
of.
going.
Wouldn't be a bad deal, would it?
I can paint all right as well.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Right, that's non-metallics, but I can also paint damn quickly. Where is it? Oh, I painted these standard guys in
Yeah, but still, like that looks great. And there's perfection is the enemy of done,
Oh yeah.
right?
Like who doesn't love a good tank army?
Oh, that looks good.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
We're looking at pictures of Ben's painting. If you paint fast and that good, Ben, very nice.
Well,
Yeah,
that
looks like I found an army of painters.
Ooh.
started off like that with camo. All blue. I went through 2 kilograms of blue tack for that.
Was that red and black or red and blue? I couldn't wait to.
Exactly. It's camo. You'll never know. It was
Where are you that red is camo? Mars?
desert camo.
Okay.
All right, don't get me right. Okay, so sorry, we're talking
Mars is
about
a
guns
desert.
from a different game, but I had this discussion whilst painting them. People were like, "What's red camo?" I went, "It's a alien planet.
Fair enough.
Like, it doesn't matter, does it?"
No, it really doesn't. That's the beauty of it.
Will I get hindered when I paint my troll bloods bright pink?
Absolutely not. In fact, that table 5 in the previous round.
What was literally pink troll bloods? Yeah, they look
and
really
they looked
nice.
amazing.
Well, and the great thing about pink troll bloods is they're almost a little creepy.
It's black,
Okay.
black and
Well, I like that because red and black are my colors.
yeah, and then purples as well.
Okay. I like it.
Anyway,
Nicely done.
Very Kador.
It totally is.
so each faction also has a standard, like I guess, studio theme is what I'd call it.
Yeah, that's exactly what we call it.
Yeah.
Which I never follow.
Pretty much neither do I. In fact, like red and gold is what my Signar is painted. Typically, silver.
Right. Okay.
See, Ben, even red and black. My hockey gear's red and black.
Oh heck yeah!
Camo, just like your.
Oh, and you have a dinosaur on your
You
t-shirt.
blend right into
you
the
win.
ice.
That's true.
So is the dinosaur because you guys are old?
Yeah, exactly. We're the
Yeah.
fossils.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
And I can paint
fits.
things pink. Yeah.
you can totally paint things pink. Because it looks creepy when the trolls there, because they're like
Yeah, of course.
weird little monstrosities,
Yeah.
but super fleshy looking.
It's delightful because no one can see what we're looking at action.
Oh,
probably
yeah,
good.
without a doubt.
I do have a friend of mine that plays Warmachine, and he paints. Pink is his favorite color, and it's even more interesting because he's a police officer, but everything he does is pink. And he just
Okay.
he got new cocky equipment. It's pink and black.
Yeah.
He paints his models, always pink, and it's just like, what are you doing? I love pink. I'm like, okay.
You might already know this, but you want a fun thing about pink? It's the best undercoat for yellow.
I believe it.
Genuinely.
know that.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
I
If,
believe you.
if you paint your model pink first, and I'm not saying like edge highlight it and everything all the way up to pink. I'm saying base spray. If you spray it with a pink or a zenithal with a pink or whatever, you will get the best coverage out of your yellow that you can possibly get.
Oh, that's good.
Because it's got very similar pigments to orange and stuff like that, but the red in it also helps to give that solid base coat below it.
That's good.
Science.
Yeah.
My Signar is not at all
Oh wow,
studio themed.
but it's lovely. That's amazing. Oh, good. Where can I get the models? Because I'd like to paint something tonight, please.
Again, you may know some, but if you're going to get them tonight, you'd have to find them.
I'll just borrow one of theirs.
Yeah, or that could work too.
No, but the thing is that goes to speaking to what we were talking about yesterday
Yeah.
about the camaraderie. And I can almost guarantee that you went and was like, I really want to play this game. Everyone's got at least two,
Yeah.
Right.
They have to.
right? And they're going to know the rules for both those armies really well.
Of
and I can
course.
almost guarantee one's going to be like, yeah, let's sit down and play a game. Let me show you how this works.
One of the new
So
things
now
we're
you know what
doing.
you're doing tonight. You're here and playing Warmachine.
It's called
Don't.
Machine.
Don't
is
get me
called
started because I would like to learn. Oh no.
There's no. This is happening.
You
Great.
even have
You're
tables
welcome.
you can use.
Yeah.
What? It's not like
It's
we're
all
looking
set up
at
with terrain and
5.
everything.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've added in Mark IV is 80 millimeter bases. I'll show you a picture of one of my painted 80 millers, 80 mil with a little pink on there.
Oh, look at that.
Siege Tarask.
Now he still gets a rider on top that's going to have a harpoon.
Got this big old heart.
Oh,
I just haven't
yes.
painted that part of it yet. It's like just a giant.
That looks
beast and
amazing.
It's an 80 millimeter base, and
Chunky boy.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait to get them on a table.
What's the minimum sort of like model count you can have in a like? Is there an army that has one warcaster, one caster, and then surrounded by big boys?
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
do that.
you can do that.
I mean, it probably wasn't
It's not
gameplay
just one.
amazing.
You have, no, actually, it can work out really well. I mean,
right.
like you saw the two Supreme Guardians,
Yeah.
right? That their cost is high, so it's going to necessitate taking.
Can I have 4 of them, or is it limited to?
I
Not
think they're
quite.
limited to 2.
I think they're FA2.
Right. And so there are some
certain
limitations.
models
Go
have
ahead.
a limitation on how many of that model. Some of them are unique,
1, of course. Yeah.
right? So like we mentioned, like there's a low-level version forecasters and warlocks, right? that are like the baby version.
Yeah.
So you cannot have like, for example, if you have Sorcia 2,
You can't have Sorcerer
you
1
can't have Sorcia,
or Sorcerer 0. Yeah.
right? Because they share the.
Even though their titles are different, it's the main name that's the thing. Yeah, of course.
They
Okay, cool,
can't
cool.
share a keyword.
I just saw a handshake on table 1.
I was gonna say we can just see table 1. Let's just have a really quick jump over to even more knocked than it was before.
Oh wow!
But an 8-2.
Michael was able to just
Oh, yeah.
rock forward on the.
Wow, he
rocketed up.
Yeah. So not only did he get that 5-point lead, he then solidified it by denying another point from
Right.
Elliot and just going, do you know what? I'm going to take an extra point. Why not?
So he finished up 8-2. So
And got his opponent off the objective so that he.
And that's a 1-1 USA versus Wales then
that's
so far.
what I was going to say, that it's tied up now.
Coming down to the last
We had
couple of
Andrew
games.
from Wales getting the win for his side,
Yeah.
and then Michael for the USA.
Well, let's jump over to table 2 and see how that scoring is going. I know Sean was right now.
He is,
So,
yeah.
so same point he was at when we.
Yeah, their clocks are slightly different. There is significantly less time than what we see on the screen. It's just, I think, when Martin went to hit his clock, he hit the back button instead.
Okay. That's what it was.
And that reset the timers. So I will need to implement something to allow people to customize their time again.
By tomorrow night, you'll have this perfect.
By tomorrow night, it should be flawless. Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, actually, thinking about
Well,
it,
and the thing that's kind of amazing about this game is we're 4 rounds into this game.
yeah.
Between these two, and there's still around.
Right.
I'd have been.
And there's nothing
targeting
close to him.
at all.
So they're, I don't know if they're just sitting back and taking shots and,
I mean,
and removing
that's-
things.
Or
Yeah, absolutely
but
it
if,
is.
And if you leave them, that's what they're going to keep doing.
Right.
But at the same time, Martin's been able to, so he kept them there and kept taking shots, but Sean has been able to maintain presence and not fall to them.
Yeah, I'd be. I'm curious how long he can take those shots, though. Or I mean, I know he's up 4-1 right now,
Right. Well, and he's got a lot of toughness.
but exactly.
So it's very hard to take those shots.
Yep.
Especially with the previous shot. But amplification, that attack power. I'd be worried about.
Yeah, definitely.
They can't just be.
Yeah, and one little slip or one little move by Sean and got those extra.
Yep.
Martin. See what happens. Martin's definitely not out of it yet, though.
Well, hopefully, with any luck, by the next time if I come to do another WTC next year or even more tournaments, all of this sort of software and stuff will have gone through the paces of me playing with it whilst I'm playing my games,
Yeah, totally.
and then it'll be perfect.
We'll John and I will
But like
come
I
to
said,
your
don't do it
events, man.
entirely perfect. You ever have the perfect stream? Absolutely.
I've told you.
Too much to quit.
I know exactly. I've not even started yet, and I've not started myself properly in Warmachine yet. You're gonna see a lot more of me. I might do hobby streams and stuff like that as well.
Absolutely.
Of me painting all my
Like
stuff.
you said, you
Right. And if you're going to stream for us and promote for us, I mean, your channel, but if you want to paint some models, we can make that happen. Yeah. Exactly.
Well,
John is the guy that makes that happen.
I can tell you that I'd be doing this out of my own pocket anyway. So I'll take that too. I could already see the missus is sat there going.
Well, and I
There
know there was
goes
some nodding
this.
over in general kitty direction.
Yeah.
That was like.
Oh, she's nothing but supportive in absolutely every way. And do you know what? She'd probably paint more of it than I would.
That's what I was
That's
saying.
exactly
Like,
yeah.
She had a look on her face. I would like to paint the fight man.
Yes, I think one of the things is this is really no war. Oh god, this is gonna sound weird. No war game has appealed to her like this visually has before.
Oh, good.
All right, okay.
So what was that she said?
She said, "I've got commissions to do. She's got nothing to paint, so she can be painting some Warmachine while I'm doing theirs."
So we're over here soliciting you, basically, saying you know some people. You should just talk to her.
Well, no, okay. So my whole point, my whole point was more the fact that it's something we could do together. And I know that sounds really,
Well, that's
yeah,
that's the best way to do it.
yeah. So very stupid of me. Anyway,
But it's not stupid.
Oh, it's
not
good.
stupid at all. It's actually just because something's sweet doesn't make it bad. It makes it
oh, of course. But that whole community vibe, and I think being here as well, has sort of made her want to play it or paint it at least.
Well, that makes
so.
a difference, doesn't it?
Massively,
Just seeing the
massively.
community and these people playing and what they do and how excited they are about it.
and that speaks to everything we've been talking about this week. It speaks to the reason that we wanted to do the Torchbearer Award.
Oh, when are
All of
we?
those things.
When are you announcing that?
We did that during the opening ceremony.
Yeah, we had to do it in the other hall where there's no feed or anything.
Oh, that's
So
a shame.
I had to take a lot of pictures.
Well, in that case, do you mind telling people what it is and who got it whilst we're here?
Absolutely. So the WTC Torchbearer Award created to recognize people nominated by the players in the W. That did the most with make the fun community. We make the game, play with the make. And so this year, the WTC nominated as Belgian legit. Without them, happen.
Right.
Yeah.
because This event was scheduled for was it Poland, I believe,
Yeah.
and the facility in Poland was being wrecked.
Or was
Yeah.
it Prague? Was it Poland?
It was Poland.
Okay.
And so that facility that it was going to be at was being destroyed, and the WTC team was like, "Shit, what do we do?" And they're like, "We got this." And it sounds like they put a bunch of work in and got everything moved here and set up here. And
Phenomenal, isn't it?
it truly it
Yeah,
is.
Well, and just being here, you can see.
Yeah, the power of people is nothing short of amazing, isn't it? You know, something goes tits up, but you can always find a solution to it as well,
and
which
it's
is really
and
nice.
it's important to recognize.
Yeah,
I agree 100% on that.
yeah. It's there's so much that I can tell from these players in their local communities and local countries for sure. There's so much that they will also put into their communities and stuff. So
And so next year, out from WTC, we'll ask for nominations.
yeah,
Right. So anyone who is registered for the WTC will participate in that nomination process.
yeah. I was
Like basically, who's made which WTC teams have made your gear print?
of course, yeah,
Made the game.
yeah,
Can't wait to get to where it's going to go with them.
Yep.
Those kind of things. We'll take in those nominations. We'll be able to like, these guys disagree.
I think rewarding
These
that sort of
gentlemen,
stuff,
these ladies,
yeah,
ones that
deserve it.
they'll be our-
Yeah, I think rewarding that sort of stuff is really good because it helps promote that. I mean, the whole community seems to be amazing anyway, but it helps to promote that sort of ethos, which is really like my favorite thing. But one of my favorite awards at most events that I go to or run are my favorite player events. I know it sounds weird because it's not rewarding necessarily your gameplay ability, but it's rewarding your hobby, like compassion
yeah.
or ability, which is really, really nice.
Absolutely.
Well, and it's what it's what keeps you wanting.
Yeah.
Right. Like, the
Yeah.
gameplay can be amazing. The gameplay can be not amazing.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're having fun and you're enjoying the company you're playing with,
Yeah.
you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Nick in chat said on table 2 that Martin's in trouble because those trolls have cold immunity
That's,
going on.
Well, and that's one of the fun bits about Kruger and kind of what I was talking about. There's an amp on both sides.
Yeah.
Right. So Kruger is gonna been effectively keeping models away from some of this bigger damage output, but it's also really hard to take them out.
Yeah. At what point does that
It's down to these ones.
Yeah. Okay. Fair play. Fair
So
play.
we're probably not worried about an assassination attempt in this game. Like I don't currently see that as a viable attempt.
Yep.
Like yeah, they could pull it out, but I don't see how they could risk going for it
Yep.
in the way the table is. So it's got to come down to 4 o'clock.
Okay. Oh, we saw. Sorry. Go on.
No, just scenario flop is really what I see coming down.
Yeah. Well, we can see we've had to return to the old-fashioned clocks there for the players. We can't quite see Martin's because of the refraction of light, but the because both players are on separate times, we had to set the clock separately. Because even age-old technology doesn't know how to set each time individually.
Right.
So we're just looking at 13 minutes left on Sean's timer.
Pausing them.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And both the players have been super accommodating with that. And Sean's time, I think, is at 13 minutes and 24 seconds.
Yep.
And then we're just waiting to see what Martin's is on the other end. I think we're looking. Oh.
I have length on my.
Yes.
Like he's got just about to go from 10.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah, both players have adequate amount of time. You know, it's they start with 60, so 10 minutes is still a reasonable amount of that time.
Martin has options here. They could be difficult to pull off, but it's like he's trying to get himself in a position to be able to do so.
Yeah.
So he's got shifting his whole focus here. See if he can get on the board.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he is a little bit behind. No assassination attempt coming from either of them, I assume.
That I can.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, I'm not a phenomenal player. So
Yeah.
there could be some, as you would say, cheeky option that I'm just not.
It begins.
The players at this level see the game differently than we do.
It's almost a bit Matrixy, isn't it?
Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah, they see the code, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it is. They just see more angles and different angles than a casual player like myself.
Of course. Well, we are only seeing one angle, but that is because we are streaming 5 tables here
5 tables.
at the WTC.
Unheard of.
Maybe for Warmachine, yeah, it's crazy.
For
though, isn't
Warmachine.
it? Yeah. I know some madman that tried to stream 8 tables at once.
Was it that Ben guy?
No, thankfully not. Nobody likes that Ben guy.
No, I know.
Looks like we've got
Table 5. All right, we'll move straight
Yeah,
over
let's
to
jump
table
over to
5.
peek at that real
This is probably my favorite table. I've been avoiding putting it on so I can talk about it in more detail.
Adam is being.
Well, he's lost one of those guardians. One of those.
They can go down,
Yeah.
but
Right.
that means that Lewis and the heretic is nasty, right? He has just a lot of. He has a lot of like. I'm going to do my best to do this much damage, and it's like, yeah, that's not.
Yeah, the heretic is really good.
And he just doesn't want.
Wow. Right. Okay.
Like, so the Grimkin, right? the
Yep.
Leaders of the Grimkin. Individuals called the Defiers.
Yep.
They're called the Defiers because they defied one of the gods.
Okay.
Specifically the god. Like, order and right.
Yeah.
They're absolutely insane because they would manage to basically bow of
Okay. Yeah.
being tortured for
Yeah, and they're
by
very
their
thing
own
of nightmares.
Yeah. Okay.
And so what this group of fire called the Defiers ended up basically embracing those nightmares.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, we're gonna be tormented forever. Well, this sucks, but what if I made the nightmare work?
That is a very good option. Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
we would like to go back to the real world and inflict those nightmares on others and get people to realize that following this god that they defy is incorrect.
Yeah. Sorry. I was just watching Adam go into some of Lewis's miniatures there.
Yeah, like I said, he's very animated.
L- L-
Wow.
Lewis
Well, he walked up that Supreme Guardian and
Yeah.
started making some swing.
He did, but Adam went to roll the dice, and Lewis almost looked at him and went, "I'll just take it off. Don't worry."
Yeah.
And he's
It's
like,
'cause it's- I mean, like I mentioned, so it's a 3 right? So you mentioned POW plus 18. So there's almost no small
Right, if he
base.
hits it,
A small
dies.
based creature probably just literally ceased to.
"Yeah, yeah."
Can
Can you
he,
go on?
go ahead. I was gonna say he had 3 souls on the Supreme Guardian. I couldn't
Yeah.
tell what he was. He
I
pulled
think
them
I
off.
think he spent them to hit,
Yeah, maybe just solidify that hit
so that he knew hit him, and that's why he.
with something that colossal in size. Has that got the ability to move over enemy models, or is it always a
Yes.
blocking point?
Actually, some of them will have something like trample.
Right. As a general rule, you can't move it an inch or two. Stand on a model that's in the way. There has to be some kind of rule
Lets you do
allow you to
like
Trample
fly
that,
or
but some of
challenge
them
the
have
trample.
that, yeah.
Yes, exactly. 100%.
Okay. I'm just looking at that nice gap there between the caster for. I assume it's the heretic in the top. Oh no, it's not.
No, right.
That the space I was looking at was here to be able to hit all of this with the guardian, but that will take 2 turns to get to that point.
Yeah, and the Guardian's slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 5-inch move, right?
It's living stuff, right? So the Supreme Guardian is literally this solid chunk of statue.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Made out of a really cool obsidian material. It's just, it's powered by the soul of like the ancestors of these people.
of course. Yeah, it looked like he was measuring 5 inches out, 2 lots of 2 and a 1. So it would take at least 2 turns for him to go over there. That's why I was asking about moving over models, because the most direct path would go this way,
No, but like so he could get into this space
and then next turn,
and then just whoosh, get them out of the way.
and then move around.
Ideally,
Yeah.
and then get up into that space.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, that sounds it sounds like what I'd do, but I'm just crazy and maniacal.
Well, because realistically, what he really wants to do is he just wants to keep that zone clear of enemy models, so
Yeah.
it's not contested and he can get those points.
What's the capture range? The control range, sorry, for that flag.
I'm not 100% certain. I'd have to look the-
Mission. I assume it's 3 inches, because quite a lot. Yeah, that's fine.
Some scenarios might be past that.
Josh.
Yeah.
What's how close do they have to be on the flag? Is it 1 inch to control or 3 inch to control?
They have to be base to base control.
Base to base control. Thank you.
That's what you do when the main judge walks through.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
ask him.
Not only is it a benefit having one of the main judges come through, but Josh is also from St. Louis. So
So he kind of has to.
he doesn't have to. I kind of, but I have no problem asking him questions like that and,
Right.
and not looking completely out of touch.
So is that a 40 mil base then, that flag? Is that 40 mil in
looks like
size?
30.
That's a 30 mil flag. Okay. Fair play. No, that's 40. That is 40. I've seen enough Terminators on stream to know that's probably. Oh, look at all those soul. Sorry, I was looking at all the soul tokens there
Yeah,
going
Those-
down.
those are all going on Zal.
Probably.
Well, they'll start there, and then he can distribute them as he wants.
You'll
with
notice
the
he's
Souls Direct.
moving Zal back a little bit because
No, definitely not. I mean, there is a house in the way. Like most of Britain, houses in the way.
Sure, but depending on whichever models he wants, some of those models can pull that fury from Zal
Yeah.
to boost attacks or
Of course.
boost a hit, boost a damage. And that's a common tactic.
he's got a pretty decent control range as well.
Yeah, I think it's 4.
Is he Fury 7?
I think he's 7. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Because obviously this is.
So basically, how magically potent the Warcaster
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
impacts what their range is for being able to control their beast.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a 7.
He is a 7. Okay. Thought so. Which means he's very magically potent.
Yeah. Of course. Of course.
And then I think, did we say he had a shaman with him also?
Yes, he
I
does.
think we did.
Yeah, he
because
does.
the shaman has
Yeah.
the craft house ability, with basically +2 range spells result. So
So is that now a 16-inch?
Basically.
Oh.
yeah, so that's for any range for self spray or control. So it's
And on a 4x4 board, because that's what this is, right? It's a
Yes,
4x4 board. 16 inches is absolutely massive.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's over a third of the board. And that's in a radius as well, actually. So it's over half the board in the radius. That's crazy good. Just being
Yeah,
able to.
it's really good.
But at the same time, it's all not exactly one that you always want to be running in either. So that kind of
That's why we see him stood behind that house, right? Like,
why it mitigates that control range a little bit, because you're only going to be using half the radius, right? You're not using the back half.
yeah, of course. But there is the potential, should it be needed, but I highly doubt it, because
Well, like if this side of the board wasn't threatening, he could get Sol over onto the left side of the house, for example,
Yeah.
from our vantage point.
Yeah.
Then he could in fact spread that control area.
okay.
And the house doesn't block his control range.
No, it just blocks line of sight.
Right.
movement.
Exactly.
Oh,
but, like-
so you don't need line of sight necessarily to use the control range then?
No, because it's magical.
Of course, which makes sense. Magic finds ways.
Right. And there are some abilities that you have to have line of sight or be able to see.
I imagine you can't shoot stuff out of line of sight unless you've got an ability that allows you to do that. For example.
Or you have a way to say that this thing control range gets 50 for me.
Right.
It's the spot for me.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And
yeah.
there's
Arcing fire.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's an ability called Arc Node, which basically your caster can channel
looks
this.
like he just got the handshake.
Oh, looks like they finished up.
So it looks like he was able to get those control points.
Yeah, so it looks like I had secure the win.
Yeah. And well, I think that was the other Guardian going down. I don't know whether that handshake was just because of that.
Okay.
Because, you know,
Sorry, I see a handshake and I normally think.
Right. I thought
Well-
it was,
that was
that
a good
game over,
job
but
taking out.
they're actually
taking-
still going.
yeah, I mean that's
Good job on taking out the Guardian.
well, that's the second one, right? Like,
Yeah.
so he's managed to take them both out, which is 32 power
And
points, which is
that's
quite a lot.
not-
A simple thing to
That's
do.
not a small feat.
No, that's why the handshake came through. You know, it's one of those. Wow, good job, mate. Well played.
No, that's good sportsmanship. You know, congratulate your opponent
On a
on
big
a tough
play.
model like
Yeah.
that.
All right, and then I think that's
Definitely not done. They're still rolling and interacting.
It's also kind of fun. So we've got both games going. We've got Table 2 and Table 5 are still in play.
Yeah.
And just looking at the
I think.
oh nope.
Oh, I think table 5 is done.
Oh yep. He just went up to 7.
Ah, right. Okay. Yep, that's why.
Which is
Oh, so that's the right. Okay.
No, it was 7-2, right? Oh,
it's 7 to 3. Yeah, but I think he hit the
First to
target.
get 7.
Yeah. So so that is a way. There is there's a target number,
basically
a
he
target
won.
differential.
He won on scenarios.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's 4 ways to
Which
win.
is
then.
what I thought, but it wasn't.
I guess there can't be. It really depends on the scenario.
Of course, yeah. So minimum 3, possibly 4 ways to win.
I think
Yeah. Okay. Because even in loss, like that extra point can help bump you up a place because it's tiebreakers and things
Right,
like
so
that.
it could be a tiebreaker.
that means we got
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, that's 2 each.
So it's
Mark.
Yeah, because I believe both of these Welsh tables, 3 and 4, and then 5 and 1 were
Correct. Yeah.
victories for the US. So you guys obviously rooting for the US.
I don't necessarily
actually,
think that.
yeah, no, it was just,
I was going to join you in rooting for the US. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I mean, like.
So you kinda have to shoot for Sean.
Some bias.
Yeah.
So, like, part of me has to, right?
Of course.
But at the same time,
Right. Absolutely.
I reckon you could say literally the same thing about all of the players here.
almost all.
That like maybe change the word gentleman to whatever identifier they would like to be known as well. But the point still stands.
I think
Like, here we go.
It-
Yep.
I knew that
I
was
knew that was coming.
every time.
We
Yeah.
could both feel it. It
and
was
my
coming.
only problem is
There's
I was trying to
no
find something.
recovery.
I was find something to be a jerk about, and I couldn't.
the only
think.
problem is there's not more of him.
There's plenty of.
I'm sure.
We could do with a couple more of you to sculpt more models, I think.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I could live with that.
Yeah.
I could live with cloning.
a privateer would like that.
Oh, Matt would be.
I could be at home sculpting and doing shows.
Wait, why not have 3 Dougs? 2 at home sculpting, 1 doing a show.
Because there's a rule of Sith.
Yeah, you can't. It can only be 2.
You're a Sith? I'm so sorry.
Why? I'm happy.
Well, you say happy, you just forever sad, isn't that their point?
No.
Forever in pain.
Oh, Jedi are
angry.
emo ones.
Well, I don't know. Sidious was pretty damn mean to Vader. He was literally made to live in pain his entire life.
You know what? Vader should
His
have
suit,
done what
his
he's
suit
supposed to.
inflicts pain on him.
Well, Obi-Wan.
No. Obi-Wan merely burnt him. Like, he just took him to the deep fryer for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It was Sidious who made his suit intentionally, like, because there's plenty of drugs out there that it could have pumped him with to keep him safe, right? Not safe, but not in pain. Kids don't take drugs.
Not the dark side.
But his suit was made to keep him in pain, so it channeled his anger, and his anger gave him the power.
His anger, not his sadness.
I don't know. I'm pretty sad if I'm in pain all the time. I don't know about you, gentlemen, but I would, if I was being absolutely rinsed with pain continuously, I'd be sad.
Which one was it?
Oh, no. Nick's saying the ways to win. Cast a kill scenario.
Oh, okay. Thought he saw something that I did.
No, it was the control points. And we're on to table 2 now, just wrapping up the final couple of minutes here.
Yeah, they should be getting down to the wire, right?
I find it interesting the Welsh team's rallying, and Sean's been left to try.
So, Sean's got 5.5-ish minutes left.
Yeah, if you can go and have a cheeky look for us there, John.
The entire Welsh team is still here.
About
Looking after their player.
Yeah. Well, it's because Sean's a big boy. He knows he's got his big boy pants on.
Today he does.
Like I said, yeah, I mean,
Martin's got
as
some
a- as
fantastic
an-
looking
as a-
pants on,
as a
actually.
nation, so we shouldn't get to have friends either.
I don't think that's the logic you could use at this point, but sure.
So bad.
Oh, brilliant.
This is why they pay me the medium dollars.
You get medium dollars. I'm impressed. We both attacked that from the
Right,
same
right,
angle
right.
there. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I was trying to be middle of the road, but no.
Oh, brilliant. Nick said, I'm somewhat anal about Warmachine. Please note, I was the person who reminded everyone that 10.3 mattered. What's 10 points? Is it a rule?
I think there was something that was miscut or something, wasn't there? Was there a template or something that was 10.03 or something? I don't remember what those were.
Okay.
Nick, if you want to share the story,
I've
that-
slept since then, so any knowledge.
it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything like today.
Or just everyone likes to make the meme of like the 3rd of October. I don't get it either.
Was that a tumbleweed? No. Oh, I'm sorry. I've just smacked myself in the head and also ruined your ears. I apologize. Oh.
So at least at least Sean's been able to deal with at least one of the celestial points.
Yeah, well, that. Yeah, I did notice that go down. Is that something that is usual for these troll builds to be able to take down these things if they get into a position, or?
I mean, that's why I was so impressed that they were still there.
Yeah.
Is that Sean hadn't been able to get to them to take them down, but then a bit ago, Martin moved him around. But trolls got to.
Because
You have those big shiny axes and stuff.
I assume the trolls have less armor than you would expect. Like,
Well, yeah, because they don't need it.
well, they're naked, aren't they?
No, but they are incredibly thick-skinned.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah.
The need for armor is not as strong.
Outside of that faction, is there a lot of regeneration in the game, or is it only on certain like casters or particular jacks or something like that?
No, I would say it's most primarily in troll.
Yeah, it's very rare.
Very little.
Very little outside of it. I mean, it does exist, but it's it's not a ton.
But it's kind of their one of their calling cards. You know, they're known for.
Of course, yeah, that's really nice. It's nice when an army has its own little USP.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal.
Okay, yeah, it was the Spray Temple. The 10, yeah, the 10-3.
That's what I thought. Is that there was a spray temp that was just a little.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, there is some level of tolerance in these sort of things. I don't know if you've ever tried to have anything. Well, I guess you guys have both had stuff tried to be manufactured, but you have to expect some level of tolerance here and there. And it,
Well, the problem with that is Warmachine is such a precision game.
And it's consistent.
yeah, of course.
So I'm sure it's fine.
It'd be great. It'd be grand.
Actually, the new spray rules. It's fine now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
No template needed.
no template needed.
Mm.
Line, boom, done.
Yeah, done.
Instead of like a cone.
Ah, yeah. So I love like measuring tools and implements and markers. One thing that I'm not a humongous fan of is what you would consider a template to be. So a big old circle that you
Right.
count stuff under it.
Yes.
Yep.
The amount of arguments that causes.
100%.
Oh,
That's
oh,
literally why we
That
changed it.
exists in this edition that we're watching,
yeah, yeah.
but it is gone in that 4.
Amazing.
Because if I'm using a template, it's a 4-inch template.
Yep.
For me, I'm hitting 5 of your guys.
But you're only hitting 4 of mine, mate.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. That one's in by a ball hair, if that.
That's precisely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's being able to remove that. Oh, it's also a bit of a barrier to entry for some people.
Yeah.
And being able to break those down and really write more condensed rules, I guess, as well.
Yeah, and I'm as
Now,
fan
like,
as-
you have it's AoE 3. It's 3 models.
Perfect. I assume if it's AOE blank or just AOE, it hits everything.
There's no way.
Essentially. There's no AOE blank. Yeah.
Yeah.
We call that
Misprint.
special acting table flip.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. A Monopoly special.
Generally frowned.
Of course. Yeah, yeah. I can feel.
Funny thing was not got stuck under the
Oh no.
crypt and fell, and the leg kept up, and the game stayed.
You know, I had a that happened too. We were at a Flames War tournament way back in the day, and somebody was walking by his bag of Soviets, which is a ton of models. and
Yeah.
the bag was open. And somebody got caught on it, pulled the bag over. There was shit everywhere. Wow.
The Soviets were everywhere.
A friend of mine never played again. Actually, you know what it is? It's Tim.
Oh, yeah.
We were playing Flames War, and his bag got knocked over.
Plenty with Warmachine.
Yeah, and right for us also.
Yeah, I love Tim.
I love the sound of Warmachine. I need more of this in my life. So
We're gonna make that happen, Ben.
well, no, we are because we've got another game coming up this evening,
We do.
and then another minimum 2, possible 3 tomorrow to
Right.
round it out.
Spend a lot of time together this weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna go once we finish the next game. I think if you guys and gentlemen are going to the bar, I think I'll join you tonight and not
Yeah,
pass
totally
out on my bed.
It's damn near.
Oh, perfect.
I mean, we're expected to. It's part of us. You know, we're working.
Part of the job.
Community engagement.
100%.
Because neither one of us is in charge. That's the answer.
Well, I feel like we put in some good overtime last night with the community.
We did.
We did.
Pillars of the community.
There's only 2 of you. Brilliant.
Powerful.
Rule of the Sith.
Nice.
Brought it back around for you, Doug.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But Ben, you can.
Do it. Sorry. I can what?
Say you can come and build pillars with us. And,
Yeah, I'll happily be present.
Which is code for drink Belgian beer.
Oh, don't mention the word code. I've seen enough code for the time being.
The little green things coming down on Matrix style.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm really excited to get into it a bit more, and as I say, hopefully herald in a new era of it at my local potentially, and go from there. It seems very tense here on table
Yeah,
2.
it's very
Yeah,
tense right
I'm watching the.
Right. I'm actually.
I can't quite read the dice.
Not
What I was
not
just
those
looking at.
ones. 1, 2.
Interesting because typically when dice are being rolled, you'll know things went really well if you see models
Yeah, of course. Can you do those two actions of moving, moving and then doing something else in any order? So if I pick a
Yeah.
model, I can shoot and then move it.
Depending, yeah.
Okay.
But in general, like when you activate a unit or a model solo, you are moving and then doing a thing.
hmm
Right? You're choosing what the action is.
Can you do the thing and then move most of the time? Cool. Cool. So you could move out one turn and then shoot, and then next turn shoot and then move back behind cover, for example.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, you are exposed for that one turn then, but I'm glad that that's the case because it means that there are consequences to your actions if you want to get something
Well, not
sorted.
only that, but Warmachine does have the concept of 3 strikes.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily want to move because whatever you're moving away from may get to smack you in the head.
Attacks of opportunity, we'd call them in another nerd world.
So you may wish to instead attack your special action first.
Ah.
Literally, like, so your warjack
Picks it up, yeets it.
Yeets it off
Yeah.
one of your other dudes, to hit a motherfucker with another motherfucker.
That sound, do you know what? Add a couple more lines and you've got a rap gods level song there. Like, that would be amazing.
And then you can take your movement to get further out. Go repeat that process again.
And then, yeah, of course. Can you, just out of curiosity, with a jack, if you've got the ability to, can you throw the person away and then proceed to run into them?
Yes.
Yeah, sort of.
Depending on what kind of focus you have available, you could in fact grab a dude, throw it over there, and then charge into him.
Just play Skittles.
Well, there's a rule called back. So you charge in, you hit a model, you knock them backwards, and you follow them up. Oh, it looks like they just finished up. I saw the issue.
There was a shake.
Right. Watching, I saw them shake hands.
Yep, there.
I think they just talked it out.
Probably just pointed out where the. It's not good. Yeah, yeah. Doug's gonna go and talking to the judge, right? Plus, I'm curious because it was 2-2 Belgium US, and I'm curious who's taking it.
Yeah, we'll see. Wales, US.
Yes.
Yes.
What did I say?
Belgium.
Wow.
We are in Belgium. Lovely.
And
country.
I've said it so many times that I'm just gonna assume everyone's Belgium.
Yeah, of course.
Ah. Yeah, oh yeah, because we can't see the clocks, so it was a clock.
Right, okay. Fair play.
So who won?
Sean.
Sean won.
Yeah, so Sean.
So that means it's 3-2 to the U.S.
Yes. That must mean it is 3-2 to the US. So coming down to
Alright.
that clock at the end. Something that, we've seen a couple of times. Shall we come back to us before wrapping up, gentlemen?
Sure.
Yeah?
I'm just pulling up a
Yeah,
picture
I
of
don't
the,
smell.
The schedule because I believe the next round is in actually about 15 minutes.
Or it's either in 15 minutes or it's in half an hour. Brilliant. Look, we're back. It's me, you, and then John.
We're here.
We're
Like I said, I'm scrolling.
That's fine. We'll be back in either 15 minutes or half an hour.
We'll be back soon.
Yeah, we will. I mean, if you are going to be kicking around here for round 3 that we're going to show, might be worth going back and just recapping over round 1 because you might have been asleep this morning.
So yeah, the next round is technically scheduled to start in 15 minutes.
Cool. Brilliant. Well, let's.
I would expect that to be delayed a little bit as they figure out the pairings and the final games. But
Yeah.
when we come back, hopefully we can get a update on how all the games are going and who's undefeated right now.
Yeah, we will do. And Duskum just saying there's not a massive amount of commentary on the actual games. We are covering 5 different tables here, and we're trying to make sure that we can get all of them showcased. But towards the end of the weekend, when we are getting into those sort of podium stage matches, we'll be looking at getting more detail and insight over to you guys.
Absolutely.
And I think we'll also bring in some guests as
And we'll be able
Yeah.
to get that play-by-play going.
right.
Yeah, yeah, we'll be able to set that out for you. So today is a more relaxed, chilled day of being able to showcase some stuff
the
that's
commentary
going on
point of
from the
view, yeah.
commentary point of view. The gamers are still very much going at it. I mean, we saw quite a tight, close, and
really good
impactful game there in game 2. Sorry, on table 2. And yeah, we'll be back in around 15 minutes, possibly a little longer. There might be an extension for round number 3 of the Warmachine Team
Great.
Championships.
Thanks to see you soon.